What's going on, everybody? We're here one more time. One more episode of the show. We on the air right now. And if you're not subscribed, go there to my YouTube channel and click on the link below. Click on the link of my bio on my Instagram. Go straight to my channel, subscribe, share, and click on the ring bell too, so you guys get all the stuff that is coming. And tonight I have another friend that works with me too, does amazing stuff, and he's another stunt performance. I'm here with Antônio Jackson, aka Tony Tornado.
Hey, what's up?
Shout out for Tony! That's amazing, man. How you doing?
I'm good, man. Blessed.
I'm blessing. That's a good, man. Yeah, I'm helping like a lot of people on the industry too, like try and bring more people here to talk about what you guys do. Because we don't, like I say, we don't have the spot, we don't have a place to talk about it.
Mm-hmm.
And
Exactly.
I want everybody knows like our job is important as the actors too.
Oh, exactly.
Because without us, movies wouldn't be the same.
Right.
And man, I want to ask you like, where are you from? I always want to ask you where you're from.
I was born in Orlando, Florida. And then my mom moved us up to Minneapolis. She went to college up there for graphic designing. And then after 14 years, I moved back and lived with my father to finish up high school. So me and my brother, I lived with my brother and my mother for the first 14 years because my parents divorced. And then when she got sick, she's good now, but at the time she couldn't work. So she's like, go live with your father. And I was like, okay. So went back to Florida. And then I lived there for 14 years.
14 years in Florida.
Yeah.
So you're from there.
Yeah. So my mom liked me also claim Minneapolis, Minnesota.
Minnesota, yeah.
For both. So
Yeah,
I'm like
you
14
guys-
and 14 years each. So
Yeah, that's cool. That's
Yeah, yeah.
cool. And when you move from there and to Minneapolis, you already start like martial arts or something like that. When you started to do like martial arts or
no, I didn't, to be honest, I didn't really start martial arts until I was about the striking until about 30 years old. So I got into wrestling and football when I was young. So I was like 7 and I was getting in a lot of fights, and I tell people I didn't know how to express myself through words like "don't disrespect me" instead, because someone will, be mean to you when you're 7, and at that time I didn't know how to express myself to say stop, so I would use my
so it's
fists.
the bit. Sometimes it's better use your fist.
And my mom was like, "You can't get in trouble," and she put me into wrestling and got my anger out that way. So I did that for 7 years, and football for 7, and then what's it called? After graduation, I like kind of dropped sports. I was like, I wanted to be on the more creative tip. And I was always in love with music. So at that time, I was playing guitar, piano, saxophone, and I would write music. I was in choir too. So that was my outlet outside the aggressive sports.
Yeah.
To mellow me down.
You try to lower it down.
Yes.
Well, it reminds me like Jean-Claude Van Damme, because he was martial arts and his parents put him to do ballet.
Yeah, I could see it. He's very flexible.
Yeah, right?
Yeah.
So like you can like manage your anger with
And he's always trying to sneak in some dancing in his movies.
Some dan-
And he was on, what was it, Breaking 2 or something?
Yeah, I
On the
think
beach?
Yeah. He was doing
Yeah,
a
he
lot
was
of
in there
dancing
with his tank
stuff.
top. Got to show the muscles.
Right?
But yeah, I think, martial arts, I was already doing stunts for 6 years.
Oh.
So we were picking up weapons and rehearsing fights. So it's kind of like, I think I should also start to train in traditional martial arts, because after 6 years of doing stunts, I was like, I think this is my future, because I was kind of jumping between acrobats, acting, mime, dance, breaking, everything.
Yeah,
Everything.
I see you break dance too.
Yeah.
I saw like the videos. I was like, yo, I didn't know he could move like that.
Yeah, I barely ever do that stuff anymore because of time healing,
Yeah,
recovery.
I know, man.
And of all the things that I've ever done physically, I would say wrestling and breaking was like the most damaging to the body, just because of how intense it is. And breaking, I can name 20 different moves, and each move can take months and months just to learn that one move, and then to connect it another 5, 6 months.
Man.
So I did it heavily for 4 years in Orlando when I got into it. And shout out to B-Boy Hang Loose and Irving, my boy from Orlando. He took me to my
Nice.
first open gym.
That's cool, man.
was-
Shout out for him.
Shout out Hang Loose. I was like 22 years old, and that kind of goes back to the music thing. I went to college for 2 years doing music, and then I kind of like had like a quarter life crisis.
I know.
I was like, where am I going? I'm working 2 jobs, going to school, barely slept 3 hours a night for like 6 months, and everyone has a breaking point, and that was it for me. So I was like, let me drop my job. Let me drop out of college. I'm not feeling it. And then I was working at Best Buy, and my buddy there with me, he started doing these air flares out of nowhere, not warmed up.
Wow.
5 of them, clean, perfect. And I was like, I want to learn that. At 22, and he's like, yeah, I heard this before. You know, people, teach me how to flip, teach me how to do that.
Yeah, I hear this a lot.
And 95% of the people won't follow through.
Won't. Yeah.
They go to the first session, and then they're sore for a week, and they're like,
I know,
just
right?
doing some shoulder rolls.
I know, that's a lot.
And it's true. Like, I remember when I first tried to learn when I was like 16 on the hard floor, and I banged my hip. I was like, I can't learn breakdancing. Forget that. And then he took me to open gym where it's pads, and you can fall, and you can learn. And there's like more forgiveness on the gymnastic floor than a hard floor. So he dropped me off. We trained for 2 hours that day. And then he just thought I was going to quit. And then a month later, I showed up every day for 4 hours, 6 days a week.
Shit.
And then I was like, yo, come back to the gym. You're not there. And he came back, and he was like, and I learned all these moves. And he was like, you learned all this by yourself? I was like, yeah, who taught you? I was like, just YouTube, and came here. Just kept on trying. And then he's like, all right. I actually brought him back into the game because he kind of lost interest at that time. He was heavy in the scene. He was a junior Olympic gymnast. He was kind of had his fill of breaking and flipping.
Yeah, I know. Sometimes it's kind of hard when you don't have like somebody to incentive you.
Yeah, and then you see that young blood come in with the fire. It's like, I remember that was me, and that kind of sparked that back into.
Yeah, you can like stop when you start something. That's what I tell people. Like they always like, how you do stuff so easy. We started to do this shit like long ago. That's when I hear a lot of people like, oh, I want to do stunts right now, but they're already like past the 26, 27, 30s. It's not a problem, but like you're not gonna get the same stuff that we do because you're not like training for that.
Right.
Your body's not like used to that.
Right.
Our body's already like we throw ourselves on the ground like easy.
Yeah.
If somebody just go there and do the same, it's not gonna be the
They're
same.
gonna get hurt.
They're gonna get
and
hurt.
it's gonna look bad.
Yeah, exactly.
So I agree. So I have this lady here. I'm training her. She's a stunt baby. She likes to call it, but she's also an actress, and she's kind of juggling both. And she's up there in age too, and she started late, but she had a martial arts background.
Yeah.
She's athletic.
Yeah.
She's flexible. That makes a big difference to a person who's working in 9 to 5, accountant, sitting down all day, who's not flexible.
Not flexible.
I was like, are you athletic and are you flexible? We can work with that even if you're 35. But depends on your height. If you're going to double, are you going to be an acrobat stuntman, or are you going to be a ground and pound?
Yeah.
Martial arts, weapon, tactical.
Yeah.
Because you can live in this career and geared towards more like the Marvel, Spider-Man flips and wire work, parkour.
Yeah.
Or you can be the big guys who are like doubling the rock and 260 pounds of muscle. They're not doing too many flips.
No, it's true, right?
They're not doing any full twists. You know, some of them like Gary Peebles, he's
Gary,
an anomaly.
No, Gary and what's his name? Van.
Yep.
Is kind of like
the two guys above 240 in the stunt game that can flip
flip and do
like
crazy.
like the small guys.
I know. I was like, yo, I saw.
But they're athletic. They're strong.
Yeah.
Their legs are huge.
Yeah, that's the thing. It's like Shaquan too. Shaquan is like all muscle. He's strong as fuck.
Yep.
So I understand like you need your body like ready for this type of stuff. Because I was filming like yesterday with the Chris L. We were doing stair falls on the concrete.
Right.
Oh shit, man! Like after a while, I still feel a little.
Feel it. Yeah.
You know, like
especially it depends on how you get into it and how many steps, and if you want to make it like a dunk, or you want to make it flow. If you make it flow, it doesn't hurt.
No.
But if you make it like
that's
different. Yeah.
I had to fall like he threw me on the scorpion, and he
and
kicked me on the
over.
back.
Oof.
No, not on the back. So I rolled down to the.
That's so funny. I thought of the same thing. I wanted to do that on my demo.
Yeah. Oh man,
I was like, that'd be cool. Scorpion, then you continue to fall.
Yeah, and somebody just kick you and you still like go.
Right.
Yeah, we got some good shots because I need to get some reels new for this this year and some fights too. So if you want to do some fights,
oh for sure. Yeah,
let's get into and do some.
Some couple tactical moves into a stair fall, wreck, all that stuff. I kind of want to do what's it called, Arabian to a stair fall.
Oh yeah.
So you get hit uppercut or something like that, where you do the half twist and you
the
land.
Half twist, yeah. I want to do something with Hong Kong shit.
Hong Kong down some steps.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's got to be wide.
Yeah.
Because most stairways are skinny,
Mm-hmm.
and when you do a double HK, you extend straight.
Yeah, I saw this dude. I forgot his name. He come in, he does a cork, and he fall downstairs.
Yes, that's painful.
Like, that's painful.
Because on a cork, you got to raise your hips.
I know.
So it's like,
and when you have to fall straight on the concrete, that shit.
Because on a if you do a standing HK, you throw your shoulders down and you only have to fall from like a B twist level. But a cork, you have to raise your hips, so you got another 2 feet of falling.
A little bit more. Yeah, so like, it's a little higher when you hit the ground.
And if you do it right, it's like a big coin drop, but still, it's still going to hurt.
Yeah, I know. What was the biggest project you worked?
I'll say the biggest project with the amount of people and budget would be the Black Adam film. Yeah. And that was... I actually wasn't living here. I was still in Vegas, like kind of laying low during the whole COVID.
That's why I didn't see you around that much. Yeah.
I did 10 years of live stunt shows. So I did 4 years at the parks in Orlando. I started at SeaWorld flipping on power skips. And then I did the Durmstrang at Universal Studios doing bow staff.
Yeah.
Tricking, tumbling, breaking.
Yeah.
And then I did some stilt shows and acrobat shows at Disney and mime and dance, all kinds of movement. The only thing I didn't do, I would say, would be tap dance.
Tap dance?
Yeah.
Oh,
I did breaking, locking, popping, jazz, ballet, modern.
Everything.
Anything I can get hired with movement.
Mm-hmm.
And then I did the stunt shows, acrobats. And then after 4 years, I saw an audition at my studio. I was picking up a check and they said, Marvel Universe Live. Play Marvel characters on the world tour. I was like, I like Marvel. I grew up.
That was nice. I saw this in LA one time. I went there to do the test. I was like, but he's like, you have to travel and stuff like that.
Yeah, and the pay was, I mean, for young performers to get reps and to train.
Yeah, it's good.
It's free training.
Yeah.
Like, where else can you go to give? I tell people who are new here to the game, and I had this girl on the fences if she should just stay here, she's brand new, or go on this tour because she got an offer. And I was like, if you want to, train your skills more for free, go there. It's a free check. You travel the world. You're still young. Get that out the way. Get all this training, because when you go, usually on these tours, there's about 44 cast members, and about 3 or 4 of those people will have skills that you want.
Yeah, right.
And we have we call it the blue carpet warm up area, which is like 3 of the rollout gymnastic floors, but not the bounce, just the rollout mats.
Gotcha.
And we would connect them, and we have weights and pads and weapons, and we would just train before, after shows. We would show up.
This is from Marvel.
Yeah, this is from Marvel. So if you wanted to get these skills, you would link up with someone. It's like, hey man, before shows tomorrow, can we come in like an hour and a half early and just train on boxing, kicking, BJJ, whatever. There were so many different talented martial artists on that tour that I took that opportunity. So that's when I started officially training weapons and striking, because I was a grappler and an acrobat, tricker, b-boy, anything with movement, but I didn't do striking and weapons. I only did it with choreography and stunts.
Gotcha.
So I never really traded traditionally in a dojo. The blue carpet was my dojo.
That's good, man, because it's free. Like you say,
it's free. And I've had people always ask me that, like, oh, what's your belt? What you training? I was like, I've trained in these things, but I don't have a belt. I just trained it for the last 6 years with instructors that when they go off tour back to their city, they teach. Like my friend, he teaches Japanese martial arts and ninjutsu stuff. And when he was on tour, shout out to Briggs.
Shout out Briggs.
Nasty martial artist and tricker, and he performed as Drax on the tour.
Oh, he does Drax.
So yeah, when I was on that tour, him and me would train like a lot of throws and grappling and BJJ, a mixture between judo and BJJ. And then we would also train like striking and sparring and all that stuff, like full-on sparring. But cool. I learned a lot from that guy. He's another, big guy that can trick. He's like 230 pounds, 6'3", and can do cart box cutter with a sword.
Damn.
Yeah.
I see like this guy's doing like Gary and Van doing this crazy shit. Those like, you got,
it's phenomenal.
They start like,
yeah, because when I put on 20 pounds of muscle, I'm like, I feel it.
Yeah, right? You feel like heavy as fuck.
At the height of my tricking, I was 175.
Wow.
And I'm 6'1". And then right now, I'm 195 to 200.
I'm 175 right now.
Nice.
And I'm just 5'8".
Yeah, you got muscle.
I'm a little heavy, like not like in.
It's in the legs.
I think my legs is a little like thick.
That's where people think I'm like 180. They see the upper body and I'm lean. I was like, no, it's all legs.
No, it's all legs, right?
That's all the wrestling and football years. It's all.
Oh yeah. You got a lot of strength. And what is the biggest celebrity you ever met besides The Rock? I think.
Funny thing is, I was on 6 different days, different characters on Black Adam, but there was only one of the days that I worked with him. But this is at the height of COVID, so we still had masks.
Oh, okay.
And you couldn't go up to the celebrity unless you're specifically working on choreo and you were actually
Understand.
unless in the scene you were like fighting him or doing something with him. You can't just go up and take off your mask and have a conversation.
Yeah, I remember that.
So that was like 3 COVID tests a day. I mean, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, they did all that stuff. So the only scene I was in with him, it was like 80 people on the set of performers. It was a big temple scene, and he was just flying in, doing a superhero thing. And I was like, I'm not gonna go up and talk to him because it's gonna feel like we're not working as colleagues at that point. It's gonna feel like a fan on set, and I didn't want to do that. So, but I did work with the character that played his son. He's from, I think his name was Jordan. I can't remember. He's from LA, young child actor.
Yeah, the little one.
Yeah, little one, and he was really cool. And the scene, and it ended up being deleted. I did 8 hours straight of getting my head chopped off, falling backwards into the wall, then doing a high fall. So I was like in handcuffs, and I was like a servant getting executed before the son got brought up, and he was about to get executed, and then he vanished because of the power rock.
Yeah.
And they did 3 flashback scenes, and they deleted me every time.
Man,
I was in the film like, oh, here it is again. Oh, what happened was after I got executed, they started the scene 5 seconds after my death. 3 times.
Man, I did a Cobra Kai, and they did the same. They cut my scene. A lot of shit that I did, they cut my
friends
scene.
told me, it's like, lesson learned, don't tell people your scene until it comes out.
Exactly.
Because then
they're going to be waiting for it.
And I'm telling people, I was like, oh, the camera was right here. It was just me and another guy. It was mad featured. You will see me. Definitely I get executed. I was like 20 seconds of acting. And nothing.
It sucks when they do that. I just came out on the trailer of Bad Boys.
Oh, yeah, I saw that.
I pops up there like really quick.
With the gun?
Yeah, it was so fast.
Yeah, that's exciting. Because, then if it's on the trailer, you'll see more of that scene. I will see more because that's the highlights.
You know what happened to the scene? The lady that did my hair, she did the wig.
You got a wig?
Yeah, I got a wig. So
did you double?
No.
So you get a character?
Yeah, she told the director, I want this guy showed up a lot. So the camera was on my face, and I was with the gun like, ah!
Yeah.
For that awesome. I was like, yo, I think I got like a good feel. Like
I've had the worst wigs.
I've
yet to have a good wig on set.
I never had
one. Every time I come out of the makeup, they're like,
man, you have to see me in Guardians of the Galaxy.
It's so funny.
In Guardians of the Galaxy, they really like...
They messed you up?
Yeah, I had some hair before, and what they did, they shave on the sides, and they attach my hair.
Oh, that was cool. That's a cool hairstyle.
But after that...
That's cool. Like, it was reversed for me. I doubled this one Russian guy and, what was it called? Average Joe on some BT, I think.
Yeah.
And this Russian guy, he was balding. He's an older gentleman. So he had the side hairs. And he had like a patch of hair on the top.
Oh, shit.
I remember going to the makeup room, and then the hair makeup artist was like, what am I supposed to do with this? He was like cutting out pieces of hair and gluing it on them.
Right?
And I came out, the coordinator was like,
nobody can take. Man, everybody was making fun of me.
I was like, why don't you laugh at the actor? I was like, tell him to shave his head.
No, DJ Khaled did his like, this hair is real. I was like, no, I would never have this type of haircut.
Yeah, it was on Black. It was on Ghosted with Chris Evans. They glued a beard into my beard.
They want to like something down bigger. Here. Oh, shit.
Yeah, and so, and that was the first time I realized shaving cream gets out glue the best.
Oh.
So because I was on Black Adam, and they put mud in our beards because we were servants digging.
Yeah.
And when we came back, I remember the guy took a hot towel and he just rubbed it on my face, like not knowing how to get mud out of the beard. And it just snagged and pulled my beard. I was like, whoa, chill. I'm just going to go to the shower and I'm going to scrub it out. I was scrubbing it for 5 days after that. It still didn't get out.
Beard just sucks sometimes.
Yeah, but he didn't know the techniques. When I did Ghosted, the head hair and makeup guy who was like in charge of that stuff, he's like, yeah, he should have just used shaving cream. He rubbed it in for 20 seconds. It came right out.
Wow. Hot
ragged it, and then wiped it out. I couldn't even feel any glue.
Wow. Yeah. No, they had to put like some alcohol to take this.
Yeah, alcohol works. Yeah. But when I did prosthetics, that's what they do. They put that stuff.
Yep.
When I was like a zombie, and they would like chip away. It was like a tattoo, layer by layer to get the glue off.
Yeah, they go like very slow on that shit. I was like, yo, it takes so much longer to take the thing out.
And that's where I feel bad, but that's where we make our money. Is the overtime. 16 hours on set. You like 4 hours in the morning, 2 hours at night is makeup.
Yeah.
Then an 8-hour shift with lunch. You're there.
I had to cover this because like as Will Smith.
That'd be so funny. That'd be funny if they use that in the film. They're like,
yeah, no, I was shooting Will Smith and this was showing. So I imagine everybody.
Did you show him that?
I show Will Smith.
Good.
Yeah.
What did he say? What was his reaction?
He's like, "Oh shit, that's me." I say, "Yeah, man, that's you." He's like, "Oh, you're saying?" I say, "Yo,
that's
you're
crazy.
my favorite."
That's awesome. What's a full circle moment for you? Like to work with anyone that's, if you tattoo someone on you, that means.
Man, I have this for 14 years, and I never thought I would meet Will Smith. One time I was on this.
So that's Men in Black?
Yeah.
Okay, what do you have like
The little dog,
Yeah.
too.
Oh, Frank.
Frank.
He's so
Agent
funny. On the part 2 was my favorite between the two. They always arguing.
Yeah. From the who let the dogs out.
Yeah, my favorite bit of that movie, it was like, "Save us, Mr. Black Man," when he was on the subway train.
Yeah.
See, y'all New Yorkers, you think you've seen everything. You New Yorkers think you tough. Save us, Mr. Black Man. Save us from the worm. He's like, you know what? Bleep.
Man, I wish I had the little flesh.
That's like, out of all the trilogies ever made, I think that's the best trilogy by far. And people talk bad about the third one, but I was like, no, the third one was brilliant.
Brilliant.
Yeah.
We didn't know.
Josh
like,
Brolin killed it as K.
Yeah.
Oh my God, they couldn't have found a younger, better version.
One version that I was like, yo, he looked like exactly like.
And he sounded like him. He moved like him.
Exactly.
It was great.
Was amazing. You have any like crazy story about like on set that happened? Something like, because like we have a lot of shit that happen. Like actors, they don't see that much because most of the time they're not on set with us unless it's something very like
Yeah, sometimes they check out, they go back to their tent, and then here comes the double, and
the
then
double and do the whole thing.
Yeah,
so.
crazy.
No,
there's a few stories, but
interesting. Yeah,
I would say I did it wasn't Bollywood. It's I don't know if they call it Tollywood. It's Telugu.
Oh, Telugu.
It's southern India. So
Gotcha.
It's the same. It's kind of like the same style. They have the badass action, slow-mo ramps, slow-mo
too
ramp.
much.
It's so awesome though to watch because they used amazing lenses.
Yeah.
So it's like watching anime live action.
Uh-huh.
So I watch it for that stuff just to get angles and cinematography stuff because they're really good with that stuff, and they're good with storytelling too. But then you have the dances and kind of takes you out of it.
Takes stuff.
But I think it's badass because I love dancing, so I'm like, why not?
Do some like Indian.
Yeah,
stuff.
it was like you've seen Triple R on Netflix.
Yeah.
It's kind of like that, but it's like it's in Telugu, and Mahesh Babu is the main actor. But we were doing a chase scene in the desert in Dubai, and this is during COVID, so they flew the Indian actors and the production from India, and I think they're like a 3-4 hour flight. And the American stunt team, and then the locals for the background. And there was a chase scene with like 18 dirt bikes and street bikes and cars going after the main actor, and we just make him swerve out the road. And you figure it'd be safe because it's just a random chase scene. There's no crazy jumps or anything.
Stuff, yeah.
But it's the crazy terrains you got to worry about because we're in the desert, and the concrete would go from smooth to like a million potholes, like into like rocks, back to concrete, back to rocks.
Yeah,
because it's way in the desert, so it doesn't have money, a budget for like nice roads. So I remember
that's more realistic.
Yeah, no. So I remember times where there's a truck, motorcycle in front of me, 2 motorcycles right behind me. We're all hugging, so it looks realistic. And there's times when the roads would get skinny, and then I'll just see 2 trucks coming in like this to me.
Oh shit!
And then this is like
they keep going up and inside out,
and then when we switch from the rock, and then back to smooth, I'm like, all right, cool. Then we go to the rocks, and then the front dirt bike in front of me is very grippy. The tires, they would snag rocks.
Oh yeah,
and chuck it at my face. And this is, you ever get like, if you ever rode street bikes, which I did for 6 years in Orlando, if you trail behind a semi, never do that. I would go to the side of it. They fling out the biggest rocks.
Oh yeah,
and you have to tuck your head. Otherwise, if you're riding up normal, you get hit,
on the neck. I know.
And that's happened to me. Actually, I got cut a couple times. Learned my lesson. So you got to creep down and get around them and swerve around. But on this one, you can't do that because you're in a chase scene.
I know.
So I'm like dodging softball side rocks. And then we pull over, and this is non-SAG, so this is like $400 a day, this is great if you're non-SAG. 400. All the flights, the hotels, meals, everything's paid for. You know?
Yeah.
And it was fun working for Indians. They're really funny.
It's different, right?
Very funny.
I never work. I want to try one day.
They're very fun. They're very fun to work with. Good catering too. Good food. And but after I pulled over and they said cut, I was just like, that could have gone bad for $400 a day. No stunt bump, no nothing. But it's just like, at the time, this is before I got my SAG. This is like 2 months before I got my SAG.
Wow.
And this is after 10 years of stunts, live shows where you get paid $250 a day, 12 hours of busting your ass, falling down. And so you kind of earn your stripes there. And then it's like $400. I'm like, that's better than live shows. So I'm doing well, you know? Yeah. And then I get it if you're a SAG performer and you get your dailies and it's good money not to do that, but it's fun.
Well, I would do anyways, but they will pay different.
Yeah. And
when
then,
SAG.
But that was very sketchy. And when we pulled over, I was like, I could have died like 3-4 times.
Right.
And all I was doing was chasing. It wasn't even like a 90 or a 180 or a jump or a wheelie.
But is the landscape, is the road?
Yeah, that's the sketchy stuff.
Yeah,
you know?
But you do motorcycles.
Yeah,
so,
I do motorcycles. Yeah. Luckily, at the time, I did 6 years in Orlando driving. I never really did the tricks other than basic wheelies. You know, when I'm at a street light, no cop, just do a big, you know, wheelie, drop it back down, don't go crazy. But and more maneuvering, going like 100 on the highway, which is stupid. I recommend people never do that, just because you never know when you get debris off of a broken tire that you hit your wheel and you wobble.
Yeah, exactly, man.
So if you're out there, you know, try to.
There's a place for that.
Yeah, there's a place for that where it's like set and or like dirt biking out on the trails when it's like predictable.
Unless you're like doing this, you do this, not
yes, you know, you got to keep your head on a swivel, and you don't, you know, even like the BMX bikers, you know, they go up and down, but they don't go 120 on those. They're going like 30, 40, where they can control, stop, and maneuver around a motorcycle person that drops. At the drop of a dime, they got to bust a 90, and then you gotta train this like for long as time. So I do motorcycle, but I do more freestyle. Freestyle. Oh, yeah, like street bikes. Jumps.
Jump.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, just freestyle. Like
it's fun.
Jumps.
I tell people, get on a dirt bike and learn there first, and then get on street bikes. You just never know what you're gonna get on set. Yeah. It could be on the back road where it's dirt, and you move around trees. So it's good to get on the ground because it's a different feel. It's much more grip than say on the street.
True.
Yeah, because on the street you have oil. It can be, you know, wet.
Yeah, you never know. The other day I was driving my car. A truck dropped something from the back, and I hit it, and I messed up my car. Yeah. So like never do stuff like that on the street, because there is always something that can happen. Yeah,
and I tell people, if you're out there riding, always wear a helmet and a jacket and gloves, because the one time that I fell going 60. I had a helmet. I wouldn't be alive if I wouldn't be alive if I didn't have a helmet.
Yeah, no.
And I invested it was like $400 or $500 in this helmet, real nice quality. And I was like, no, this is my health insurance.
Yeah, no,
on a motorcycle.
They're making this jackets that is inflatable.
Like the professional ones. Yeah, that's good.
That would be nice.
It's worth the investment, I tell people, just because you never know on these streets, especially if you drive in Atlanta.
I use this, a Zion, the Zion. Pads and stuff like that. I get the ones that is silicone. It's much easier. It's very good for like stair falls and stuff like that. You know, even if you do like a high fall, and you're not gonna feel that much.
That's good. Yeah. I gotta get those. I know they're good to insert too, because it's not like a whole big pad. It's like you insert it in different areas.
Exactly, and it's not hard shelf and stuff like that. Because hard shelf hurt you too.
Yeah, actually it does. Yeah.
I tried before with the butt pads, and it was hard. Man, that shit.
The only time I like it is on my back. I have an armadillo, like a motorcycle.
Yeah. The whole.
So when I do like a flat back or a taco, I like those. They feel good.
Lo, let's show some clips that you did. My director is gonna put on the screen. You guys check it out.
Pierce Brosnan, 007.
I love you. You play a movie with. You got beat up by.
Yeah, that was in Dubai when we threw me down.
Oh shit.
That was Okoye stunt double. Shout out.
Yo, this is skips. Badass.
That's my first job. Training under
training.
Training here in Atlanta. And then my own project that I choreographed and wrote. It's like a 13-minute short. Go check it out. Thin line between revenge and justice.
Ooh,
wow.
Boom.
Motorcycle. Yeah, it's my boy Troy.
Oh, it's Troy.
That's at his house up there.
Ooh. Oh shit.
Boom.
Now you can move.
Shout out to Phaedra, and that's in the Philippines, in Manila.
Oh, Gio.
Hey, Gio. Yeah. It's my dog. I love Gio.
Man, how many projects have you done until right now?
SAG, I've done about 22 to 23-ish. And then maybe like 3 independent.
Oh, yeah? Are you working something right now?
No, the last one I worked on was, what's it called? Found TV show. It's NBC. It's like a missing persons detective show. And the two main detectives basically, this happened last week. I don't want to really reveal too
cannot talk too much about it. No, future projects.
Yeah,
Like
all that happens is I fight them and they arrest me. I don't want to reveal too much.
Definitely.
And shout out to Monique Garrington. Yeah, she hired me for that. Yeah.
Monique is amazing. I think she did Loki.
Yeah.
You were in Loki too.
No, I wasn't.
You wasn't Loki?
The season 2, man.
But
that's my favorite story arc for any character in Marvel.
I know.
Him and Tony went out perfect.
Yeah, like I always like.
I was almost tearing up. Like when he's walking up to his throne. Spoiler. Watch it already. It's been out.
Yeah, it's been out for a while. It's not gonna be a spoiler.
When he was walking up with the timelines or whatever, he's holding it. I was just like, yo.
And they say all the time that he go back to part of the Marvel universe inside. Like,
and that flashed me back to the scene of Ragnarok when they're in the elevator and he was like, "Is that what you think of me, brother?" to Thor, and he's like, "I think the world of you." He's like, "I used to think the world of you," and you see Loki's response basically saying, "This whole time he just wanted that validation from his father and his brother because he was in their shadow, because he was adopted." So his whole time you see his response. That's his true response. To be great in their eyes, and that's when he realized it. And then from there on out, you see the slow change of Loki.
But even though like Loki kills so many people,
he does. But I mean,
like
he turned it around at the end. He saved everybody.
Okay, but like
the timeline, that was sacrificial. He didn't do it for the clout. At least I don't think he did.
But man, it's like the same as in Fast and Furious when like Shaw killed him. And after they work together.
Right.
Like, you know, it doesn't work like that. Yo, you kill my friend. You think you can be like, you know, part of this?
But they had to make another movie.
Yeah.
And they had to have those actors.
And now they bring back everybody. Like,
I don't blame them. People are like, oh, another one. I was like, well, I'm going to go see it. It's going to be some badass cars and motorcycles and some fights. It's going to be funny. It's going to be punchlines.
Right.
It's like watching your favorite cartoons in the 90s, like, oh, another X-Men episode. Yeah, I like it. So shut up.
That's true. That's true. Yeah, they're going to keep doing, I think, 2 more.
2 more?
Yeah, the Fast and Furious.
They're going to have also, I feel like, branch-offs.
Yeah, they can
like The Walking Dead.
They have like spin-offs and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Like they did with Rob Shaw.
Yes, yeah. And I enjoyed it. I wonder if they ever do that again, because I enjoyed that. Shout out to Greg. He coordinated that.
Was Greg Rementer?
I think he second unit or coordinated it.
If it was him, he
was literally on set and he told the guy to fake throw the hammer in Hawaii. And like, don't let it go. We'll just pan it with the camera and it looks like the guy hit in the head. But the guy chucked it and actually hit the cameraman.
Oh, shit.
I think
accidents happen all the time.
No, it was The Rock's cousin, the wrestler, the Polynesian guy with the ponytail.
Oh, yeah.
He was in there?
Yeah,
Man. Yeah, I think it was him, if I recall.
That movie was nice.
No, I loved it. I enjoyed it. And then Idris Elba.
Black
Superman. Oh. I love Idris.
Like from Handel, he became a super soldier. I was like, yo, they're doing too much on this stuff. But it's like The Rock jumping from the building and like...
Still to my favorite part, I think they were on the plane and then someone alley-ooped The Rock and he like clotheslined that big dude on the plane.
Yeah,
I think it was like 7 or 8. And I remember the whole theater was like jumping up.
Oh,
like because it brought him back to his wrestling days.
Yeah. Doing like some WWE stuff.
Shout out to my fans. Clothesline him midair, the big dude he was fighting. Man, I'll keep watching him. I love him.
No, I will keep watching too.
I think on what's her name, Michelle Rodriguez. there's 2 doubles for the motorcycle chase. But a shout out to Brittany. She was on my tour and she played motorcycle Black Widow. Oh. So yeah, that's where I met her. And then I saw her BTS doing like the lay down, like she was chasing the ball and she laid down and she did a jump. I was like, oh,
that's good.
Happy to see you do that. Because, they usually go back to like BMX and trials and competition. Yeah. But to see her further pursue film, I was like, shout out to her and Brittany. Yeah.
Man, and like, have you ever thought about like become actor or just like for now just a stunt?
No, that's an interesting question because usually most people in film do one or the other. They say if you want to be successful, there's so much competition, do acting or do stunts.
Yeah.
But there's some people within both that kind of like do 90% acting and then 10% stunts here and there, vice versa. You know, you have these stunt performers like Monique. She stunt doubled the best in Atomic Blonde, coordinated, but she also acted.
Yeah.
So there's that small percentage in both that do both. And I think that's not the end game, but I do want to do more of that because I did 10 years of live shows, and live shows you have to do both. We don't have
you acting a lot.
We don't have the devil come in.
No.
You're a character with lines. You have to depending on the show, you have your scripted lines, you have to improv. Depending on the audience, depending on this person, your fellow performer, they can mix it up and you have to improv and act and be a character. And then also do the stunts simultaneously. So that demand upon me was for 10 years of live shows. So I was getting scripts and learning it. And even when I was on tour, we had to learn multiple languages.
Yeah, I know.
Not ahead of time. We would be like, say in England, and like, all right, next week we're in France. Learn your script in Loki and Yandu, all in French. So I would be studying after shows, 12 hours of shows, go home to my hotel room. Everyone's out partying. If you didn't have a character with lines, you could go party.
Oh,
but if you had like Loki, Yandu, or these people like to talk a lot.
Let's talk a lot.
I was like, you had so many lines. So I would just be studying French. And then while you're performing French in France, you have Italy next week. So you're studying in
you gotta
Italian.
study some Italian shit. Wow.
The only thing I remember out of all the stuff ever is Loki, bloccando tu capacità para sentir furia. That's the only thing I remember of all the lines.
This is Italian?
No, it was Spanish.
Oh, Spanish?
I think we were in Spain. Or it was Mexico City.
Oh, but Spanish from Spain is different.
Yeah. I can't even remember if I think that was Spain. But we also went to Mexico City and Puerto Rico. And they would do some in Spanish and some in English, depending on the city, if they spoke both a good amount. And that's the only line I ever remember because I loved it so much from the voice actor. So I had to like pantomime with the voice actor. Because if they put a mic on us in these shows, in the Marvel, it was a 10-minute fight scene I did as Iron Man. There's times with the harness and the 30-pound hot suit that you're like...
Yeah, imagine if they hear all you like... on the microphone.
There's no way. We could, but we would have to dial down all the fighting and stunts.
Yeah.
Because we're just breathing too hard in the compression of the harness. My breath is really small. It's like 30% expansion.
Yeah.
And it was a 10-minute continuous fight. You ever hit a heavy bag for 2 minutes, you're out of breath. Imagine saying your lines while heavy bag.
I know.
And saying it so people can...
You.
Yeah. Imagine people trying to like, what? Huh? It's too much. So... They'd be like, why don't you do your own lines like we did? We wanted the people to understand. You had 10,000 people in the stadium watching us, so we focused on the pantomiming and giving the energy of the voice actor, whatever the voice actor gave. We had our own character within what they were doing with the voice. And we had some kind of range to act it out physically and then with our mouths as well. Yeah. The timing where we look and how we, the energy. So yeah, that was back to the acting. Yeah, I've done it for a long time with both stunts and acting. And so the end game, I would like to, and I would say like my dream role would be like opposite of like Denzel.
Opposite of Denzel.
And I don't need to be the main.
Very serious.
Yeah, I don't need to be like the main bad guy because that's like some serious drama acting next to Denzel.
I know.
More like the bad guy's number 2 who has some lines and he has to fight him to get to the bad guy.
Yeah.
And we have a couple lines and
That's what I think
that'd be a dream.
Yeah.
That'd be like pinch me. I'm
like
talking with Denzel and I'm gonna fight him.
Yeah.
Because once I saw Equalizer 1 and they did all like FMA, Filipino martial arts stuff, which I'm an instructor in Balintawak.
I see you doing a lot.
And that was like, when I saw that, I was beginning my journey in it. And I
There's a
like,
lot of Kali.
Yeah, right? it's Kali, Eskrima, Balintawak. It's all kind of in the FMA world. And I've studied Kali and Eskrima to the basics. I wouldn't say I'm an expert in those styles of double stick. I know a decent amount. But I'm single stick Balintawak, and it started in Cebu, and my system is the Tabamina system. Under Bobby, he started it, and he learned from Anchon Bacon, the godfather of Balintawak, which started in Cebu. So it's a close quarter art form. It's like kind of like Wing Chun dirty boxing, but with a stick.
Yeah. I see you doing it fast as fuck. I was like, if you got whipped with this shit, it hurts.
It stings and it hurts. And that's funny. Like people, when they watch it, it's so complex they don't understand it because it's all at random. There's no drills or katas in our system.
Yeah. There's not like a choreo for that.
So we say we don't teach skill, we install it. Kind of like the Matrix.
Yeah, exactly.
That's how. But it's a very interesting style of training to where you need a feeder, which basically feeds a stressful at random attack to a receiver, which is a student.
Yeah.
So we teach self-defense. We don't teach offense. Offense comes 4 or 5 years down the road. Once you can channel zero mind, which we call it, is basically you cannot think. You just react and you can stop my attacks, my disarms, my punches, my elbows, all my attacks. Once we see you can handle everything I throw at you at random, then we can teach you how to do the disarms. Yes. Because our main goal is to protect yourselves, not just give you a false sense of hope that in the street you can handle yourself.
Yeah, exactly.
We want you to protect yourself first, you know, and it's about finishing the fight in 2 or 3 moves.
Exactly. You don't need to like be there for like longest time.
Yeah. So when I watched Equalizer, I was like, this is like the epitome for me when it comes to acting and martial arts and stunts. All wrapped in one. I want to fight him with a knife. Some type of.
It's kind of hard to like fight Denzel.
Book of Eli. He did Filipino martial arts with the machete, and then same thing with Equalizer. It was very close quarters.
If the script says you gotta get beat up, you gotta get beat up.
Exactly.
It doesn't matter.
Yeah, exactly.
How big you
let's
are.
sneak in some knives.
Right? You can try.
Yeah.
Have you ever get like injured, like really messed up on set?
On set. Most of my injuries happen in training because that's when we push in the boundaries.
Right.
We want this new move. We're repping it. We're getting this combo. We're getting this new move. I got to get that by the end of open gym.
And in 2 hours.
You know how it is. There's some combos.
All the time. I got hurt.
I remember my beat twist cork. That kind of connected. I'm trying to think of what move I did that I was so stubborn on. I think it was a combo when I did breakdancing. I did flare, windmill, air flare, windmill. And I drilled it so much that night to the point of fatigue. And then I remember that night I came and I banged my knee really hard on the way down from the air flare. And I learned my lesson that day. I was like, if you want to learn the hardest combos that you cannot do, do at the beginning open gym when you're fresh.
Yeah.
At the night, it's kind of just rep the stuff that you have, stretch, cool down, do it safe. But you don't want to push your limits after 2 hours of just
not in on the open gym.
No,
because I always get hurt there too.
I would say my biggest injury on set was Black Adam. It wasn't really injury; it was just ground and pound because I had no pads. Because I was a slave in a like a skirt and flip flops.
Yeah, I know, and you gotta fall.
So I got slammed to my knees, head chopped off, and I wanted to act it out. So I acted dead with handcuffs. So I go limp. I fall back. I hit this curb that was concrete, cut my back, and then I flipped over, hit the wall, and then my knees banged on that. And then I fell down to the high pad. So the high pad wasn't even that high. It was like 12, 15 feet.
But no pads
But it
at
was
all.
the concrete for 8 hours, and the director just loved doing these wonders, creative shots, which was cool. It looked great. But the dude
hurts, right?
And so
I know.
after that, it was like infected. I had like 4 cuts, like I fell off a motorcycle on my knee. And so luckily I had a 5-day break before they called me back on set. So I was just icing it, rubbing like, antibacterial cream on it. But by the time they called me back, I was good to go. Yeah. So that wasn't, I wouldn't say that was an injury. That's more like bang, bruise.
Yeah, bruise.
The biggest injury was like my knee. Knee injury. It's still to this day. I call it 3 episodes.
Yeah.
So 3 times that I hurt it training, and then for 3 months I can't even sprint to save my life. So it's swollen. I'm in the icing stage. I get on a bike, I cycle, I do some basic leg movements just to get the blood flow. But I remember I could go to the bike for 20 minutes, do my sumo squats. But when I come my feet together and I try to walk straight, I feel the scar tissue like almost re-injuring it.
Ripping,
just walking it.
Yeah.
So I remember I did live shows when I hurt it. And certain characters, I would have to sprint, but they required less ground and pound falls. And then I would like, can you put me into this character? She's like, I know, but your knees hurt. It's like way more falls. I was like, well, all the character work is squatted. He's Chitauri is the character.
Yeah, the Chitauris.
Yeah, so they're all like bug-like type aliens. And so like my knee feels great there, and I can run like a Planet of the Apes type.
Yeah, too.
So it felt great there. But if I stood straight up, and when it went straight, I could feel it.
Yeah. If you like a little bend, you're fine.
Like a little cut
if you
again.
just go straight.
Yeah. So I was like, no, put me down right there. I'm doing like 10 tacos per scene. I don't care. As long as I can't sprint. but I can sprint in a squat.
Like yeah. That's good. That's
They're
good.
like, it worked. That's funny how that is on set sometimes. We're like, hey, what can you do? It's like, oh, my shoulder's messed up. Let's send the HK that way. That's how we do it a lot.
Yeah.
We do it. I was like, yo, my knee's kind of tweaked. Let's do this move. Let me send this fall. Can we do it this side? Even actors too. They come in like, I'm not warmed up. Can we change this kick?
Right.
Like, I'm not gonna do that kick today.
Shit, yeah, no, man. If you do anything without like stretch, without warming up, oh my goodness, you're gonna feel it the next day.
Our age, yeah, for sure.
On the Bad Boys, I had to do a scene like I'm on the tank tops, so I don't have any pads.
Yeah,
I had to fall my back on the concrete like 6 times.
Yeah.
On my back,
which is not bad, but depending on the fall.
Yeah, no, I had to do like back, then I had to do front. I didn't have no
front
pads.
3/4 or back, flat back.
Front 3/4 because I got shot first.
Oh right, and you just taking it. Oh boom,
take it back, boom. Then I try run, and I take shot in the back, boom. Then I fall forward, So it's like nothing. I just like fall straight.
Is that the scene with the trailer though?
Yeah.
So when you watch it, you're like, it was worth it.
Yeah,
it hurts.
It hurts.
People are like, oh man, do you ever get hurt? I was like, listen. They pay us really well. I can't complain because we used to do this dumb
shit for free.
For free when I was like 7, 8 years old, flipping off of trees, not even having technique, skateboarding. I used to skate at the skate park for like 6 hours a day.
Yeah.
And how many times I banged up my wrists, my knees for free, for fun.
Right?
But now I'm doing it next to this great actor. I'm like, oh man, this is crazy.
You don't even think about the pain or like, I just throw myself, man. If I have to do like a high fall, I just go.
Yeah.
If I have to do a stair fall, I just go. Like, nah.
Full send. Like, I used to do this in live shows too. I used to like go to a wall because like the first scene of this, depending on the character, and I was a Ravager in this character. My first scene is taking a back fist to a taco. Oh. That's how I start a 2-hour show. First movement,
you just already get it, taco.
Which is cool. Everything else is like downhill from there. There's other falls. But what I would do is I'd go backstage, find a hard wall, and I would just hit my back. I'm like, well, it's not going to feel worse than that, so just send it.
Right?
It's kind of just like a warm up to the muscles.
You a little bit before
people stretch for a kick. I warm up my back muscles to say, hey, we're about to
feel some
impact.
hitting some.
Don't psych yourself out. Send it. Think about the technique and you're good.
Exactly.
I always tell myself, use your hips, push your hips through, arch your shoulders, tuck your head last second, you're good.
Yeah.
That's like tacos or high falls.
Yeah.
I was like, think about your technique, not about the pain.
Exactly.
And then when you full send it and they like it, they like do less falls.
Because
if it doesn't look good, he's like, you got another one in you. I tell people like, if you do it right.
If you do like the first one, if it comes really good, they're not gonna make you do it again, man.
Like that window break right there. I did that one time.
And they just needed one time.
I did like 4 rehearsals without the window, but when you do window breaks, you got to clean up everything.
Exactly.
Budget, time on set.
Yeah,
so what they did is they took out the real glass and then they set up all the cameras. Yeah. They're like, all right, the double came in. They threw me through it 4 times. Oh, your camera's good. All right, let's bring in Pierce. I'm like, all right, you see it, Pierce? You got it? All he had to do was turn his hips and then boom.
Send it.
And then I went through the window, boom, got up. They're like, moving on. I was like, okay.
But it came out really good.
Yeah, it came out great. And I tell people, I was like, did that hurt? I was like, you know what? Even the producers, when I came back, they're like, oh, how's your face? I was like, what do you mean? The gun. I had a gun around my neck. That's how he threw me.
True.
It was metal too.
That's
it was
true.
Depend on the scene. They had rubber and then they had metal. That one was metal. Ooh. And so when I hit through the scene, it played catch up. Boom, it hit me in the head and cut my forehead. I thought it was the glass. He's like, no, it was actually the gun. And I didn't feel it. They're like, how's your head? It's like, what do you mean? He's like, the gun hit you in the head. I was like, I didn't feel that. I felt the glass and the concrete.
Adrenaline and the whole thing. You wasn't like even worried about
my whole body's hitting the ground. I'm not focusing on
my head.
Yeah. If I'm standing, then you hit me in the head.
Then you get
my head.
Oh yeah, of course.
But when you hit the whole body,
you're doing the whole thing.
Your whole body's impact and you lose your air and everything. But it didn't hurt. The funny thing, the rehearsals, I banged my ankle. That hurt. More than the actual
ankles is annoying, man. That's why we have to
little
ankle pads,
like little ankle sleeves.
Exactly. And if you didn't go for stunts or this type of world, like what have you done before, like other type of jobs, like like normal people? Well, because we're not normal.
Yeah, I've been doing it for 14 years and 10 years of live shows. I didn't have any other job other than live shows.
Okay.
So it wasn't until COVID that
killed
all live shows that I had to go back to some type of work outside of performing.
Yeah.
And I was in Vegas at the time, and I started door dashing. That's the first time I started door dashing. And once that wasn't cutting enough, it didn't make that much. I switched over to Uber when it came back. You know? And so now, I mean, I Uber now. I do security work for private security, and then I train people private lessons of martial arts and stunts. You know?
Because people think of stunts like we have a job like all the time.
85% of us have multiple hustles. There's no way.
There's no way. It's not like a career. Even actors.
It's contract work. You know.
Yeah.
That's
like freelance that we do.
Yeah.
That's why we open. A lot of people asking me, "Oh, but you were just doing stuff for Marvel." I say, "No, we are open contract. If they see Marvel, doesn't matter who." Contract us, we do it. Yeah. And we're not in a competition with other like big productions. We just want to like work.
Yeah, sometimes you get on for a daily. Yeah, a daily. When's the next job?
Exactly.
Sometimes you get on, you're like, oh, we need you for 2 weeks. Sweet, that's good. And then someone calls you, and it really happens like right when that finishes. Hey, we need you. I'm like, perfect. I'm just wrapping up with this. So most of the time, what happens is they call you at the same time. You got to give up one. That's the worst.
It sucks.
Just because you'll go for 3 months no work, and all of a sudden there's two.
And now there's two people wants to. It's like
can we just separate this work so I can get all the.
It's like when you're single and nobody wants to, but when you have a girlfriend, everybody wants to. It's like, shit.
Man. But before all of it, yes, I was. First job I ever had was pushing carts in the snow in Minneapolis, Minnesota, at Cub Foods. 14 years old, pushing carts. And then when I moved to Florida, first job there was selling jewelry cleaner. Okay. So I was like the little kiosk, like, hey, give me your necklace.
Yeah, man.
Those people that
you're a hustler.
Yeah, I was 15, I think 15, and then I worked at Subway at that place. I worked at McDonald's. This is all in high school.
Yeah.
And after high school, I think I worked security at the college I worked. And then when I moved back to Florida, I did Subway again.
It's okay.
This is when I was 19 years old.
No,
this is when the flip phone came out.
Whoa.
I remember because that was my first phone. And I remember paying all my bills with $300 a week. I'm like, how did I pay bills back then? I was sharing like a cheap rent with my brother, but I had no car. I rode my bicycle to work 7 miles back in Florida heat.
Ooh, I love it.
I would bike with shorts and no shirt because if I bike with my Subway,
khakis, you get there all
all drenched. So what I remember going, this is like 19 years old, flip phone with the dragon on it, with the Cisco dragon. I would bike to work. I get there just drenched, and then I would take the towels, dry it off. I go in the freezer where they kept all the cookies.
Oh yeah,
and I sit there for like 5 minutes until my body temperature dropped, and then I put on my Subway, and then I work.
Man, well, we all have this story.
We all have it, bro.
We always hustler.
I'm trying to think of one more. Oh, Best Buy and a golf course. Best Buy was the last job, and I was I dropped the college and the golf course job, which was like cleaning clubs and carrying, cleaning the range. Yeah. I dropped that in college thinking I want to learn breaking, tricking, flipping, just defy gravity. And I was like 22, 23 years old. I had the worst flexibility, no technique. So I started really late,
But you're good.
Yeah. Oh, man.
You're really good. I thought you start early as fuck because all the videos that I see is like, yo, it doesn't look like he started just like a few years ago.
No. It's, I get that tunnel vision.
Yeah.
So at the time, luckily, I didn't have a girlfriend. And if I had feelings towards someone, I was like, listen, there's this thing called breakdancing and tricking and flipping. And that's all I see. So if you want me to commit to you, I can't. I just came across this love, which was like the first couple years of it, training. That's all I wanted to do. And I got into the b-boy hip hop culture in Orlando, Flavor, Florida. Shout out to B-Boy Vic, who won Red Bull BC one twice.
I know who it is.
That's the first jam I went to. He was 14 years old, and he was smoking adults, like the best B-boys in Florida. I was like, yo, who is this kid? And then I saw B-Boy Crazy C, who's also a martial artist. Yeah. Sammy Vasquez's
I know who it is.
cousin. I think it's his cousin. But they both break and do martial arts. And he was doing windmills, no-handers, with the microphone freestyling to the beat.
Oh!
This is my first hip-hop B-boy battle. So imagine, I'm 23, and I was like, this world exists? this is a real culture, like, and other than the movies of Step Up, you know, like
You think it's that,
and
but
that
it's
stuff
like
is not even
that.
the real world. That's not even like,
No.
I mean, they kind of make a commercialized version of hip hop, but
Yeah.
you go to a hip hop forum, you'll see graffiti, MCing battles popping,
Yeah.
locking, house,
All
crump,
kind of
b-boying.
shit. Yeah, man.
You go to Florida, you have 300 hip hop heads in one spot.
I used to go to UK nights.
Yeah, that's where I trained.
Yeah, I go there sometimes.
Before it was called Cats.
Yeah, I remember that.
So when I left 2014, it became UK Nights.
Yeah.
So my boy, B-boy, Hang Loose Irv, we call like each other once a week. He's like, yo, I'm back on the way to Cats. We still call it Cats.
The Cats. Yeah, I remember that.
It's the
man.
same people.
Yeah.
And yeah,
That's
so
cool.
like B-boy Omen, who just moved out to LA, linked up with Phantom out there. They're
Yep.
both nasty B-boys.
Fenton is my friend. I used to train in on a gym with him.
Yeah, I was just talking
Yeah.
to Omen earlier. He just moved out there to get into stunts. Another B-boy moving into the stunt game.
Fenton is like short as fuck, man.
Yeah, he is. Yeah,
He's short.
but he's nasty.
He's like all muscle like this.
Yeah,
man. He's very strong.
Yeah, a lot of
doing
B-boys
stuff.
are like that short, compact, kind of like gymnasts. you
It's
know.
like B-Boy Pocket. My gosh.
Little
the,
Goku.
The boy is not from...
4'11". When he takes off his shirt, he's just
It's like so shred. I was like, oh my god! And when he started like air flares, and I was like,
it looks like it's fast mode in person. Like you ramp the speed. Let's speed ramp it. You don't need to do that
a
with
little
pocket.
bit. Yeah, just do normal.
They should just put him in one Hong Kong film where he does like his elbow tracks in a circle, just knocks out a bunch of dudes.
Like, yeah.
'Cause they did that in Once Upon a Time in China with Jet Li.
With Jet Li,
Clubfoot.
I
I think
remember.
it was something foot.
Something
the character.
foot,
He was
yeah.
doing flares in the dirt towards
Yeah.
Jet Li. I was like, oh, they use in B-boy culture.
I remember in the Shaolin Soccer.
Yes.
They did some flares on the
even
box.
even Drunken Master with Jackie Chan.
Yeah, man.
He did some master swipes and some stuff. Tony Jaa did some windmills and flares
Man,
here and there.
When I saw breakdance, the first time was on a tape of Red Bull Beast 1 2003
Wow, yeah.
with Iron Monkey
Yes,
was there too. And you know B-Boy Neguin?
Yeah, Brazil.
Yeah, Brazil.
And
yeah.
Palazino.
He's from my state.
No,
Yeah, he's from Cascavel, Paraná. I'm
yeah.
Curitiba, Paraná.
Yeah.
It's like 6 hours. Like, yeah, and my first tournament, I was like 15, and he was there. I met him when I was
nasty.
15, and until nowadays.
He's battled in Orlando at the B-boy spot. And I've seen him in the smallest cipher throw a raised cork, and he did not move. He did it right in place.
Yeah,
You
man.
can feel the wind of it. Like he just knows. If he wants to send it long or he wants to do it in place or undercut
He
it.
does one here, then he goes for the cork, and he stops on the same
And he always
spot,
lands.
and
He's
go
like, yeah.
like, goddamn, man, how did you do this?
He's nasty.
He is.
And he's very musical because you see him like to do house and mix capoeira
Yeah,
with it. He's very
that's the thing.
artistic with his breaking.
You know, he danced for Beyonce, and he's a choreographer for
yeah,
Beyonce, Rihanna, all these big artists,
Yeah.
just doing like breakdance.
Yeah, I love this video he did with Lil Buck, who was like a Memphis Bucker. It's all footwork. They call it the what's it called? Ghetto ice skating. I forgot. I probably ruined the name, but it's from Memphis, Tennessee. Memphis Buck.
Yeah. I know.
And so Lil Buck, they did it like this freestyle video out in LA in front of this old rusty truck.
Oh, I saw this video.
Yes.
Yo,
They would just go
man,
back and
nasty,
forth.
Nasty, amazing.
Two masters just
On the
bouncing
power
off of
moves
each other,
and
yeah.
stuff. Yo, the guys are. They just see when you have a dedication, you train, you do stuff that is crazy. People will be like, how?
Yeah, I remember when I first went to a b-boy battle, and I'm like, growing up, that's why I didn't get into breakdancing or tricking, because I'm like, oh man, I would hurt myself trying to learn that.
Yeah.
And I didn't have a place to go to. I wrestled, which was like, we had mats, but I just didn't have anyone in my city that did that. And
Me neither. Yeah, I have to learn all by myself.
So the first time I watched breaking was actually on a VHS tape from a 1999 battle where I first saw Benji from France.
Benji, I know Benji.
Nasty thread game,
Yeah.
burners,
After I
stacks.
see Lilu, man, Lilu is another like weird guy.
Yeah,
Brahim.
very abstract when it comes to their styles and burners. They're very that late 90s, early 2000s steez of breaking.
Yeah, man.
And I remember watching that, and I was like, I can't learn those moves, but I would watch the popping battles at the end, and I would teach
popping,
myself how to
yeah.
pop. So I'm actually I would say I'm actually a better popper than I am a b-boy.
Oh.
So I would always say, hey guys, I'm just learning breaking. I'm really just a popper. I would make that as an excuse because I was around phenomenal b-boys in Orlando. Like I said, Vic, his cousin Static, nasty b-boy, Omen, all the Ground Zero Miami crew, everyone there, my homies Hang Loose and b-boy Exclude from Miami. These guys are just, I've never reached 30% of their skills. And you look at me like, oh, you're a good b-boy. I'm like, not next to these guys.
These guys, they kind of eat this.
But luckily, that's how I got good quick.
Yeah, because you
I
follow
was
them.
I was in the right
Yeah,
city,
man.
and we would perform skips. That skip show at SeaWorld, and one of the guys performing me, he was a b-boy, like 20 years in the game. Nasty. He has every move. And we would get off and like, yo, where we training tonight?
Yeah.
8 hours of flipping in the sun. That's how I got good, is because I would get off.
Yeah, man. And you're like in shape.
Yeah,
The thing is, you're in shape.
I was in my 20s before I heard anything.
How old are you right now?
37.
And you're doing a lot of crazy stuff.
Yeah, I got some city
It's
miles.
like Rory. Rory's going to be 39.
Yeah, both him and me share that knee injury.
Yeah.
We talk about it. How's the good old knee doing?
Right?
He's like tricking, fuck this up. Tricking, fuck this up.
You start getting old and start like you get hurt. The only thing you talk about.
Breaking is this, my arthritis in my neck.
shit.
Skips was the arthritis in my back. Tricking is my knee, and then tricking is my shoulder from TDRs. Yeah.
From TDRs.
So it's like chronic pain, but it's like manageable. So,
Yeah.
So I had to manage how much I train.
I'm with my shoulder messed up because of yesterday that
Really?
we were doing this shit. I have to fall. I did it like on stair falls like 3 times.
Yeah, I use the Kianon now. It's the red light therapy.
Yeah.
I put that on there every night. So
I'm
when I
gonna
watch a
start
movie,
use them.
it's $500. Shout out to people who use that. I saw it on some podcasts, and I've been using it, and I noticed a difference. You know, it's like icing, but without the ice. So,
Yeah.
So when I drive a car, sometimes on the way open gym, I just put it on my knee, get there, get on the bike, and it's warmed up.
Yeah, man. We needed like the most like.
We have
great
all these
stuff for-
gadgets and gizmos.
Yeah, right? Because like our bodies are already like totally messed up.
Yeah. We have all these warm-up gizmos and preventative gizmos.
If you see like our bags, like all this icy hot shit.
I love watching people who come in and they do like 2 minutes of stretching, and they're throwing like corks and swing throughs. I'm like, you must be 24, right?
Right? No, I was doing the video with the other guy the other day. He's like tall, and I was like, "How old are you?" He's like 20. I was like,
I was 23 and I couldn't even throw a tuck. That's when I first learned how to throw a tuck.
I learned it when I was 5 years old. How to,
I was wrestling.
because I was doing like capoeira.
Yeah,
by that
naturally,
time I started
yeah.
with 5 years old.
Well, which is cool about capoeira, it's a cool transition into breaking because you have 90s freezes.
Yeah.
You have
That's exactly
the
why I
Ma'alua,
started.
the flare transition is perfect. They still use that.
That's why I did a capoeira
Yeah.
because
They have stabs when they do like the side cartwheel.
freeze
stab.
and shit
Yeah.
is most of like we use it.
Yeah, that's why Negin's a beast. Yeah.
Yeah,
Him
because
and Palazino was kind of like the first.
Pelazinho and
Yeah,
used to have another one called Chaveirinho.
Oh,
It was
okay.
Pelazinho and Chaveirinho
Okay.
together.
Yeah, I came across Palazino in the first Red Bull ever.
The first Red Bull, remember? I
With
think it was
Chico.
2005.
Chico from Italy was a Hung Ten, Lilu,
Who
else was on that?
he danced
It was
all the
Junior.
time? Junior.
Junior, yeah, all of them. It was such. What
But
was so great
Junior
about
was
that?
like-
That was like the first time UFC got together because you had boxers,
You have every
taekwondo,
time crazy
kickboxers.
shit,
You had
yeah.
Brazilian jiu-jitsu, like judo guys,
Yeah.
and they would come in with their gis, and they would come up with different. That's literally that, like, because you had so many different styles.
Yeah.
And at that time, everyone had the unique style because there's no YouTube. You couldn't. It was hard to bite.
Yeah, you could like just inventing your own thing, and people
That's
when
why
they
it was-
say like, "Oh, that's a real thing."
Yeah, and then now it's like you look up YouTube and then you don't see bites, but you see people that favor
That favor them,
other
yeah.
people's styles. Just because Vic won Red Bull twice, I see like how people like say Drake. He has like MCs that sound like Drake. He has his
Yeah.
little gremlins.
Yeah, exactly. Like variations.
Yeah,
of him.
like the little branches.
Some roads. Yeah, some branches of that.
So I mean, which is great. That's it shows you. Like Michael, like he learned from the best.
Yeah.
James Brown and Stevie Wonder, Fred Astaire. He learned from Marcel Marceau in mime. And I tell people this is where I trained I would call it acting because it's very theater when I learned mime. So a lot of people don't know I did mime. I did that for like 4 years in Orlando. Shout out to
Mime's
Nicholas J.
Shout out Nicholas.
So when I was performing acrobats and stunts, I was only a very physical, big person. I like big comedy, big things. That's how I wow people. That's my entertainment.
Yeah.
And so when he saw me one time, I was doing a gig and I was warming up. And then I had my music and I was doing my robotics because I do that, popping and
Like for mimic,
animation.
you do a lot.
And then he was like, I want to audition you for my company. I was like, what's your company? He's like, I do mime, living statue, this stuff. I was like, okay, sure. So I go and it's in his house. So I'm like, this is sketchy. But he has his studio built in his house.
Wow.
Yeah. And so he actually built like a little house next to his house. It's a studio with big
studio.
mirrors. The whole mirrors open up and that's where all the costumes are.
Wow.
It's really cool.
That's
But
nice.
but he's originally from Georgia Republic and then he made his way into France and then he learned from Marcel Marceau in France. From
from the mime
he trained
and stuff.
privately when Michael Jackson also trained privately. So
Wow.
same time. And then I came across and I auditioned, and he was like, this is when I first learned face and emotion and acting, because I auditioned. He was like, Antonio. And he'd always like to gas you up and make you feel good before he'd rip you down. It's like, listen, Antonio, your movements. And I'm gonna mess up his accent because it's kind of like Russian mixed with French. Your movements so beautiful, but your face is shit. Don't worry, I fix. I was like, yeah. Am I hard? Yeah. I'm like, cool. I got the job.
Good doing accents too, if you can do accents.
But when I tell you, at first I felt so awkward. And I tell people that's where you're going to be learning a new skill set. Yeah. When you start to feel awkward, put yourself in situations, acting class, improv class.
Yeah, I do this a lot.
I've been plenty of improv. And I tell people, have fun, be stupid, fail.
I was
because when you push those boundaries is where you actually see what you're capable of.
Yeah.
I didn't know I could channel those emotions. So when we would do shows, he would play some type of music. He's like, don't think of choreography. Just move with your natural movement to what this is inspiring you. And then if I say something, react to that with your face and emotion. Don't say anything.
Yeah.
And so we would do a lot of improv drills and do like 3-4 hours before we think of choreo and building a show.
That's awesome,
so,
man.
and when I went into Marvel, a director, a guy named Randy, he came up to me one time when I was doing Iron Man. And this is when we were building the show. The build was 2.5 months, 6 days a week, 12-hour days, just train all day. And he came up to me, he's like, did I read or heard, did you do mime? He was like, yeah. I was like, why? He's like, oh, it shows. I was like, really? He's like, yeah, all your movements, how you tell stories with your body, between the lines, during your lines, I can tell you've done mime. I was like, oh, okay, cool. I can tell Nicholas that it's paid off.
That's cool.
Down the roads.
You have a good skills and background with a lot of stuff. So you're always going to get some jobs.
At first I felt awkward and I was like, where is this going to pay off? But it did. And I enjoyed every moment. And he was my best boss to this day. He treated me nice.
That's cool, man. Yeah. And we're almost done with that.
Yeah.
So
time flies.
Yeah, I know, right? It's 1 hour and 5 minutes already talking. Yeah, and I love when people
I feel like I could talk for 4 hours just because there's so many stories and there's so many branches.
We're definitely gonna do this.
Just like B-Boy Alone, I told you earlier, I could feel like I could talk for hours and the stories I've experienced traveling on tour, meeting different B-Boys. Because there was a group of us on the Marvel tour that braked.
Yep.
There was like 4 of us. So anytime we're in cities, like, yo, B-Boy Moy, he has a B-Boy Academy here.
Wow.
Let's show up and let's get down.
That's nice.
Or, B-Boy Morris or Gravity. Yeah, he's in Phoenix at the time.
It does the double back on them.
Because he competed in gymnastics in New York at power tumbling and all that stuff. So,
but it's too short space they have there.
Yeah.
For he does that.
Yeah, he can do that on the hard floor like nothing.
I know. I saw that thing. I was like,
very cool guy. And he had all his students. Each time we're in a city, they have 12, 15 kids that are learning breaking. We will give them tickets and they would get front row watching us doing the Marvel stunt shows.
That's nice.
So it's like that, traveling the world. I've been to 90 cities in 25 countries just because of the tour. That's why I tell people live shows don't pay amazing, but they give you the skills
and
then training.
You can train for free.
Travel,
skills.
The camaraderie, you just learn, and it's fun. So many hotels. I lived in hotels for 6 years of my life.
It's free.
And I've been to South Africa, Rome, Barcelona, Mexico City.
Cape Town?
No, a lot of people went there. We were in Pretoria, but when we had a couple of days off, we all kind of went to different safaris in different places.
Oh, that's awesome.
And at that time, I re-injured my knee, so I laid low. So I was in the hotel kind of rehabbing it. And then I just went to a safari and then to a outdoor museum where you walked and they had different tribes of South Africa. And a guy spoke 12 languages. And he would go and he would sing in the language and speak in the language of different tribes. Damn. So that was that was like an outdoor museum. So that was very cool.
Man, and what is the message that you have for future people that want to do stunts or get into martial arts,
Yeah, man, I'll tell people, enjoy the process, man. Life is short. Shout out to Taraja. You know Taraja? Yeah, man, that broke my heart because I was in Paris at the time. My wife had her 40th birthday. And so we flew. She's a flight attendant for Delta. And she's like, do you want to come? I have a layover during my birthday. I was like, yeah, let's go. I was in the club and my friend Steve Kakoa, he texted me the photo of us on Creed 3. Taraja. I was like, yo, good times. He's like, he just died. I was like, wow. I'm in the club partying. I'm just like, I had to step away and pray. I was like, my wife just saw me sit down and I prayed for 5 minutes.
Yeah, man.
Because I know he has kids and I met his kids at the premiere. I was like, it sucks. That hurt me. So the message is enjoy life. I even tell myself when I get angry, sometimes I drive the car fast. I was like, calm down. Get home to your wife. Yeah, tomorrow, there's too much. Go sleep, and tomorrow, whatever stresses you out, you can have a lot of bad days.
Yeah, man.
And
you
so
just have to go through
but
it.
it's worth it. Find the friends that know your worth. Keep them around.
Yeah.
Because there's going to be a lot of opposing, naysayers and no's. You're whack, you're new. Everyone was new. Everyone started somewhere.
Yep.
And I might suck at this, but I'm really good at this. So like, you never judge a book by a cover.
You're gonna get something.
So
anyways.
So hang out with people, that know your worth, that also can speak to you honestly, like, hey, let's work on this. You need to work on this, but also in a loving way,
Yeah, of course. Like, want to see you growing, not like
no one should
put you
just talk down. You say, hey, you whack at this. You're a newbie.
Yeah.
Everyone was new. I'm 37. I'm still learning. I've been in it 14 years, and I still have a lot to learn. There's like so many people with different skills. I'm like, I still need to get that better.
Yeah,
I still want to learn. So
me too.
It's a journey.
Yep.
So a lot of the injuries I had because I tried to rush getting moves. I was like, if I went home and recovered, I might have landed it and not hurt myself.
Yeah.
So enjoy the process and do it for the long haul, and it's okay sometimes to step away and come back. Because that's when you recreate that hunger.
Exactly. When you get that for time for yourself.
I get that tunnel vision, and I don't want to go on vacation. I don't want to sleep. I don't want to eat. I want to train,
level up.
Meet this person, train with you, meet this person. I'm like, yo, I need to sleep. I need to eat. Spend time with my wife. Because you never know. Like, that's the whole point back to the Taraja, man. He has 6 kids, and he just passed, and it was just like, you never know.
You never know.
Spend those days, take a day off, spend it with your family and loved ones.
Yeah.
Live life on top of your passion. And like I said, never be afraid to learn new things, even if it's awkward, because that's how you grow. And never try not to burn bridges.
Right.
I burned maybe 2, and it wasn't on purpose. It was just like our characters didn't line up. It's called chemistry. We just communicate.
Sometimes
they take something the wrong way. I was like, that's not what I meant, but it's too late because
they already made up.
They've already had their mind and it's
yeah.
only one day you work with them. And it's just like, gosh, I just burned that, and they don't even know me if they knew me. So that's like the tricky part about stunts is sometimes you have one day to prove yourself. Yeah. So just listen, say, copy that. Yeah, no problem. Ask a question or 2 to make sure, you do it safely with the actor. Yeah. But just say, copy that, even if you disagree, know the circle you're in, and when you can offer, not advice, but just opinions.
Just a tip. Yeah, just a tip.
That's more on the pre-vises. But when you're on set, just take everything in, because they might not have some of the skills that you have, but they have some that you don't. Yeah, you can learn from.
Yeah, exactly.
And so that's important on set, because everyone has, whether it's motorcycles, cars, acrobats, wire work,
there's all
rigging,
different people,
angles, the post edits, the graphics. Everyone has another skill that you don't, and they see problems that you don't, because you just more of the tricker or the faller, and you don't see angles, you don't see acting. You don't know how to slow it down. So learn in every circle you're in. That was probably a long answer.
That's cool, man. I appreciate you for coming here today and talk to me.
Thank you, man. This is fun.
Yeah, I'm gonna bring you back.
Yeah, it was fun. Yeah,
because I know you have a lot of stories.
So we can bounce off of each other. Yeah, it's fun. Yeah. And you always joke and you laugh. It's fun.
That's what I want, man. I want everybody chill. You know, just have like
this is fun. At first, I remember like 10 seconds before we started, I was like, nervous. Why are you getting nervous? Like, we were just talking for 20 minutes.
Right? No, it's just this.
Go back to talking.
We just keep talking.
Yeah, because you're going to get to the answers. Like, let me answer it correctly. Forget about it.
No,
just be natural.
It's like, I'm not going to ask you some crazy stuff.
Because I did like for the live shows, we had to go to news anchors, and it was all scripted. They gave us like PR points.
That's a good thing about podcasts.
That's why I like it. I was like, this is my first podcast, and I love it. It was more loose and just...
Yeah, you can be yourself, man. Yeah. We can do whatever. Like, there's no cuts or anything here. It's going to be everything that we're talking. We're going to post it.
Yeah.
So, yeah. So, this was the day we brought Antônio Jackson, Tony Tornado. And you guys go to his social media. The link's going to be down below on my YouTube channel on this video. And go there and subscribe again. And I'll see you guys on the next. And cut.